What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Sharper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me in this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Well, it's normally great content, but then I guess when you make a big stand on Baltimore and they get blanked against Cleveland, Allen showed out. That was wild stuff. And hey, Wells had a great outing, that's for sure. One earned and just... Sometimes it doesn't go your way, and that's the thing. We're trying to find the best value every single day, and we're coming off of some awesome days here on Friday and good old Sunday, but also another reason you want to be in that premium Discord. Royce Lewis, my dude, come to the absolute rescue for the Minnesota Twins. Added him to the board as well as Alex Kirilloff over 1.5 total bases. Got the backdoor Minnesota money line that was thrown out there as well. I ended up going that direction. I didn't know if I was going to. Ended up getting better. The number got better. And I definitely wanted to be targeting Houston there in that spot. Jose Altuve tried to ruin everybody's Christmas, just like he always does, because he's a piece of you-know-what. But either way, hey, happy to be talking BetMGM. Happy to be talking some Tuesday baseball. We have a 15-gamer in tap for you. I'll talk about a bit BetMGM here a little bit, but my producer is a diehard Boston Celtics fan doing this right now. So give producer Jacob some love underneath here in the comment section. He's working overtime, and I'm going to be talking really, really fast. Oh, I love basketball. Love basketball. Dude, like Space Jam, like the little dude. You know what I'm talking about. We're going to talk really, really fast and get ourselves through this one. 15 games. I have the picks. They aren't going to change regardless of how long I talk about them. It's just that I want to give you all the information, and that's what I'm going to try to do. Just faster than normal. Producer Jacob, let's get you your basketball game. Let's get to the picks. Our day begins with Padres and Marlins here, and again, I'm going to try to talk somewhat briefly, just because, well, there are certain spots that make sense. There's certain spots that don't. This is one of them that makes sense. Ryan Weathers, a 27.3% hard hit percentage, 352 expected slugging. Mr. Withers. Any Simpsons fans out there? I don't know. I'm going to keep the references to a minimum here too. But the lefty gets a pretty decent matchup. If you can avoid Jorge Soler and his 350 WRC plus is basically what it's running into. It's north of 300 here at this point in time, which is just so dumb. He is excruciatingly good against left-handed pitching, especially when you're looking at something like an under here in this spot. You basically get by him, get by Brian De La Cruz. De La Cruz, anybody get that one? It's a beautiful Disney movie. Just saying, Coco. It's one of my favorites. Literally cried, bawled my eyes out at that thing. But I'll bawl my eyes out if we don't get an under here. And a good outing from Sandy Alcantara. We're talking about the absolute stud of all studs from last season. He's been falling on hard times here with a 41.3% hard hit percentage, 258 expected batting average, and just a 21.6% K percentage. But he wasn't striking out a lot of guys last year with the 23.4% K rate. The big difference is just the 4.25 expected ERA compared to last season's elite 2.92 expected ERA. And hey, 2.28 actual ERA. The sinker starts sinking. He's got the velocity. It's always been there. He throws at 98, 99, just needs to get by some of these lefties, needs to get by Tatis and all these other guys who just started smashing the baseball recently. So I'm mainly looking at the park here. Park factors have me on the under of 8. I like it. Sandy, pitch well, one-time dealer, and Weathers will just avoid Soler. Just a couple of those. We can move on with our lives. Don't really have a lot from this one. We've got Texas, we've got Detroit, and well, they came through for us. Texas did. Unfortunately, it was parlayed with the Baltimore side of things, and that was unfun for everybody involved. But still some evening baseball here that's coming up and off to a really good start there with the Angels and White Sox. But we're not talking about yesterday's games. We're talking about Tuesday. Martin Perez going up against Alex Fado. And I do like the Fado stuff for the most part, and that's kind of where I'm a little bit torn, because Martin Perez is good at run prevention, if nothing else. He's decent with the 37.4% hard hit percentage. 278 expected batting average is up from last season, and that has me a little bit worried. He was at 242 last year, and that expected ERA is now 4.61 compared to his 3.83 actual ERA, 2.89 last season. Sinker changeup, he's never a velocity guy. 92 is kind of where he tops out at. He's just trying to induce ground balls, and that even has been coming on hard times. 41.2% this season compared to 51.9% in 2022. Why does this matter? Well, balls in the air, that is problematic. But he gets a Detroit lineup here that for the most part 91 WRC plus against left-handed pitching this season. Pretty positive that we need to be getting away from this spot, even though Detroit moneyline is grading out as a decent play for me against Texas. And this is just purely from a value perspective. They're plus 115 at BetMGM. That, my friends, is something that's really, really nice. So if you want to check out our sponsor, they're the best line currently available. Lines are going to be changing throughout the day. This one probably won't change a whole heck of a lot, but I'm going to be leaning on that Alex Fado side of things. Wish I didn't have to fade Fado. I'll see myself out. Detroit money line. That's all we're going to be doing. Interesting spot here as we go to Baltimore for another gist. How could they do it to me? How could you do it to me? Either way, Cal Quantrill, I hate him. He's on the mound going for Cleveland. Kyle Gibson, he's on the mound. I really don't like him either. Both of them are atrocious. We're talking a 12.8% K rate for Cal Quantrill, who's never struck out anybody other than the random. I promise you, one game a year, you're going to have Cal Quantrill, and you're going to see that sinker fall off the face of the earth, and he's going to strike out 12. It's not going to be this spot. This is definitely not going to be that Cal Quantrill 7 or 8 innings pitched, 12 strikeout game. But Kyle Gibson, we're talking about a 16.2% K rate on the other side. I have no play from this game. None whatsoever. It's atrocious. We're talking minus 140 on Baltimore. That's perfectly efficient. I don't want to be backing either pitcher. And from a total perspective, I would lean on the over here, but that's not the play that I'm finding to be the thing that I'm the most interested in. How about Gunnar Henderson starting to smack a baseball around the lot? 46.7% hard hit percentage has been moved up a little bit in the lineup. He was sitting at 7th quite recently, as 2 weeks ago, sitting to around 5th here as of lately. And that makes Gunnar Henderson kind of a buy low candidate with a 331 xWOBA. And a lot of that is just enhanced by his 16.1% walk rate, which is kind of stupid, kind of ridiculous. Him and Adley Rutschman, I don't know what they're teaching these young guys at AAA, but they're getting walked a lot this season. I think Gunnar Henderson goes yard for us. Yes, park dimension's part of it. Cal Quantrill as well. He's been okay preventing hard hit, 39.2%, but a 485 expected slugging. It's going to come to haunt him here eventually. I think Cal Quantrill is somebody we want to be targeting. The 28-year-old out of Stanford. Can't believe he was a top 10 pick once upon a time. I just don't see it. I don't see the arsenal. I don't see how a scout looks at it and says, I need that with a top 10 pick. But you know what? Such is life. There are worse decisions. We've all made them. Either way, Gunnar Henderson to go yard. My lean from this one, in fact, well, I got 2 plays on homers, and I have 2 plays on total bases for this one. What a slate we have here for us on Tuesday. It's... God, this was a lot more fun once upon a time when we were talking about Kikuchi, where we could kill him. You know, it was just an enjoyable experience for everybody around, but harder to target him here these days because it seems as though the value has been sucked out of these numbers. Minus 165, minus 160. I was hoping to get Milwaukee around plus 175. Unfortunately, best available line plus 145 across with books here. Ugh, it's really frustrating. And Adrian Hauser isn't very good, and that's part of this. But at least the 293 xWOBA, 4.8% walk rate, and 365 expected slugging gives you a very clear path for how he can succeed against this power-laden Toronto Blue Jays lineup. Now, that all being said, Kikuchi hasn't exactly been good with a 511 expected slugging, 48.4% hard hit percentage, and 21.8% K rate. But last season, a 5.63 expected ERA. Here, it's been 5.23, so not a whole lot better, even though that ERA has found ways to be more neutralized, 4.56 ERA. The strikeouts have dissipated, completely disappeared, but so have the walks. And that's the only thing that keeps me from jamming against Kikuchi here. So I'm just going to be leaning on the Milwaukee money line. I hope people bet Toronto. I hope that we get some kind of movement past plus 150, even though, again, I was hoping for plus 170, plus 175 on this kind of a number. So it's unfortunately just a lean, even though I want to be targeting Kikuchi in the future. Just probably need to be looking at lineups not Milwaukee to be doing it. Finally, we made ourselves to a like. It's about damn time. Wouldn't you say? Yeah. We got Brian Bayo here. The Boston Red Sox, they're going to be hosting Ben Lively, who has started to show some decent Lively stuff here, that's for sure. Don't completely hate the pitch arsenal that we've had from him of late, and a 2.65 ERA, 0.88 whip. Those look really, really good here in hindsight, but He has given up 3 homers in his last 2 outings. The pitch count has gone way up, 83 and 103 his last 2. And when that starts happening, when we're talking about 48 pitches, 28, 83, 103, you know what ends up happening? Fatigue. You know what ends up happening? Some different type situations that you're not used to when you're in a bullpen type situation, or when you're pitching at AAA and you know your stuff can succeed. So I know he's only given up 5 earned in 4 outings so far this season. That's fantastic. I love the numbers across the board, but yet we are talking about a Boston Red Sox team that brings a lot of lefty power to the table between Rafael Devers, Tristan Casas, Alex Verdugo with a .299 expected batting average, and of course, Masataka Yoshida, who's just really good at the game of baseball. So I gotta say, it's a little bit interesting for me to want to fire this one up, but I think there's actually value, and it's rare that this happens at this capacity, but sometimes you're better off going for the more aggressive number. If you look at Boston on the money line, -185. But look at them on the run line. Even money over at BetMGM. That is a large discrepancy. 85 cents is more than you're going to find in a lot of spots. Now, not every spot, because you look at something, I could pull up a game like Toronto, +122. Well, Toronto is -162 over at FanDuel. So still a little bit tighter range of outcome there. But when we're talking about an 85-cent difference between the two, in Fenway, where you can definitely put up runs and there's less run variance, I think we're better off going for the more aggressive number here against a pitcher who's been awesome, but is still unproven. And just like we attacked Kopech, who gave up 4 runs in that first inning, shout out me, calling that one out, I don't completely buy everything that we're seeing right from the get-go with Ben Lively here. It definitely feels as though he's due for some negative regression. Why not here at a decent number to be attacking him here? Even money, -1.5. We're going to lay it on the run line here with the Red Sox. Well, it's the end of the first quarter. It's 22:15 here right now, Miami. We got to get my producer out of here, so we're going to fly through BetMGM. My friends, you need to be signing up at BetMGM because you need to be signed up at all of these sports books so you can always get the best number every single day. And why? Well, we're called Odd Shopper. We want you shopping for the best lines every single day. Those tools are available at Odd Shopper, which you can sign up for in the video description box below. I shop for the best lines every single day. And why? Because I want the highest ROI, return on investment possible at the end of every season. And that only comes when you find the best lines and bet them every single day for the wagers you're interested in. It's one thing to think that a team is going to win. Hey, Eric, I think Toronto's going to win behind Kikuchi, and I want to go against you. Sounds great. Just don't be paying the wrong price for it when you can get a better number at another book. And one of the books that you need to have access to, because they've had a lot of the best numbers, especially in batting props throughout this entire MLB season, is at BetMGM. And hey, if you think I've been on a home run heater, and I've hit 12 of my last 27, just actually 12 of my last 28, because Alex Kirilloff didn't go yard today. Royce Lewis did. That felt really nice. Welcome back to the bigs, young man. But we're talking about a crazy heater, and if you want to be joining that home run heater, jump into the premium Discord that you're going to get 2 months of free when you sign up at BetMGM. That link is in the video description box below. You want to be checking it out. You need to be checking it out. And that's not it, friends. You're going to get a bet refunded up to $1,000 in bonus bets if it loses that first time out. So, hey, let's say that you just want to put $100 on a game and, hey, I'm going to put $100 on one of your locks, Eric. Sounds great. It's completely going to get refunded in bonus bets at BetMGM if it doesn't hit and you sign up in that video description box below using promo code OSInsider. Yes, use promo code OSInsider when you sign up at the link below, and up to $1,000 will come back into your account in bonus bets if that first bet doesn't hit. And if it does, you keep the money. It's a win-win, my friends. And then 2 months of the premium Discord, that is a deal. I don't know of anything better going on in the industry. If you want access to me, if you trust me to give you the best information possible day in, day out, then just sign up at BetMGM right now and get those 2 months. And it's not just me in that premium Discord, but Ben Raza, who just hit the 100-1 Griot bet on Sunday. We're talking Isaiah Suarez, NASCAR genius, Hitan, who just smashes the parlays, and all of the great videos here at Odd Shopper. So sign up in the link below at BetMGM, use promo code OSInsider, get those bonus bets coming back to your account if that first bet loses, as well as 2 months in the premium Discord, only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all, back to the picks. We're We're going to the Mets and the Phillies. Ranger Suarez going up against our guy, and yeah, I say our guy in kind of a hilarious fashion, Kadai Senga, who I love Senga Genesis. It was a great video game system. He's an even better pitcher with this Ghost Fork, but I digress. Ranger Suarez, he's the first guy to be focused on. He's had a brutal season, an ERA that's nearing on 10. It hasn't been that bad. Plus, the K rate has gone up. The main thing is you're just seeing that expected ERA come up as well. We've seen some interesting things with him all the way around. I expect positive regression, but not the best matchup going up against the Mets. But the main feature of this program today, looking at this game, is got to be Kadai Senga. Looking at his strikeout props, I'm going to ladder him up to 8 at least. This might be up to 9 or 10, depending on what that opening number is. But if you look at some of these issues with these Phillies, yeah, you get Bryce Harper. Yeah, you get Kyle Schwarber. There's some scary lefties here. They have a 104 WRC plus and a 23.3% K rate going up against righties. That's 11th highest in baseball, at least. My thing is that Kadai Senga, when this Ghost Fork pitch is on, is going to be unhittable. He's still had a 6.6% barrel percentage. He has a 29.7% whiff percentage overall for everything. And I see no way whatsoever that he isn't going to mow dudes down when he starts to walk fewer batters. We've seen some massive outings. We're talking Tampa Bay 2 starts ago, 12 Ks. Yeah, we were on the over of 6.5 for that one. Whoop-de-doo, Basil, what does it all mean? Didn't even ladder it there. But a 1.52 whip has got to come down, and the only way that's going to happen is if he stops walking like 5 guys like he did against the Cubs last outing, 3 against Tampa Bay in that 12 strikeout outing. If he can limit that, this Ghost Fork is going to mow down more dudes, and he has an opportunity to face more batters with a smaller pitch count. Again, just 5 innings pitched last game, 106 pitches. He has the leash. We just need to find one of those starts where he doesn't lose it completely there, and you're going to see him mow down 10, 12 type dudes. So this is a ladder that I'm going to say up to 8 before I know what that introductory number is. That's going to be the lean. But no, I could be looking at double digits based on how this number opens. Oh God, Miami's going on a crazy run. I got to get a... Sorry, producer. It is what it is. Kansas City, St. Louis here. We got Miles Michaelis going up against Zach Greinke. I hate both of these pitchers. They are all terrible. Oh, you kidding me, baby. Zach Greinke, 289 expected batting average, just a 17.4% K rate. He's older than you and me, has longer hair than a beach blonde babe, doing his thing, living his life, feeling the flow, except for not pitching baseballs. Miles Michaelis on the other side. God, I don't like his stuff, and God, I hate that contract, except for St. Louis is like Switzerland. Does anybody cheer against them, for them? I don't know. 298 expected batting average, just a 17.7% K rate. Woof! That is not enjoyable stuff. I really don't understand what St. Louis was looking at doing. Maybe we run into better times here with it, but I find it to be pretty darn unlikely. I'm just going to be leaning the under of 9, mainly because 9's a pretty big number here, and for some reason, Zach Greinke isn't getting completely blown up here. We're talking about the last 4 starts that he's had, has not given up more than 3 runs. Over the course of his last 5 starts, only given up 8 runs. So we're talking about a pretty ridiculous run that he's been on for, well, a 4.55 ERA. The whip 1.19. Do I expect that to continue? No, I do not. So it is what it is. However, under 9, just a lean. I do not want to bet this game. We only have 2 locks on today's 15 gamer, and honestly, we have a lot of leans, more leans than normal, but I'm never going to give you bad bets just for the sake of, hey, Eric, give me some bets. Well, I'm going to give you the bets that I think are best and the things that grade out for me. Yes, we covered 15 games, and a lot of times, if you listen to the analysis, I'm going to break things down in a fashion where you can then know that there are other bets within that game. Something like Minnesota, where I ended up on Kirill off bases, the home run from him, Royce Lewis made sure he was back in that lineup. He has a crazy ISO sitting there in AAA. Automatic home run bet. He goes yard, pays for everything across the board, and Minnesota money line coming to fruition. Good stuff in the premium Discord. That was fun. That being said, this is a smash play. Tampa Bay and Chicago. Everybody was giving me shit. Eric, oh my God, I can't believe you're taking the Cubs against Tampa Bay. Well, Tampa Bay didn't score a damn run. It was a 1-0 ball game we ran into in Chicago. Was really happy to be on that Cubs side of things. And did I expect Stroman to mow dudes down to that capacity? No. But I explained the case for it at least. And that's what these videos are supposed to do. Explain the case of why things are grading out when it comes to some of the modeling, when it comes to oddshopper.com, where we are trying to use a market-based approach, finding the best line amongst all of the sports books and trying to target it and say, why does this book not agree with the other ones? And if we don't, then we target it, we bet the lines, and we make money. And that is exactly what we're running into here in this scenario. And why? Well, we've got Kyle Hendricks on the mound going for the Chicago Cubs. Feels like a while since we've talked about any of his games, mainly because he made his first start of the season on the 25th of May here, less than 5 days ago. Well, it'll be 5 days ago when he starts on the 30th tomorrow. It wasn't all that good. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 3 earns, and this is a guy that did throw a lot of strikes throughout that game, 56 strikes out of his 86 pitches. But I have never, ever been a Kyle Hendricks guy. I think he's vastly overrated. He's had some good opening days where he ends up going out for 8, 9 innings pitched just out of the middle of nowhere on opening day. But overall, this is a pitcher that I think is vastly overrated compared to where the market's kind of established him over the last couple of years. We're talking in 2021, a 16.7% K rate, 18.5% in 2022. And then this first start, obviously, we're not going to even be paying attention to that for the most part, outside of wanted to see where the velocity came in at. And this is what's very interesting to me. 87 miles per hour on the fastball. You think you're going to be getting by these Tampa Bay hitters without having some kind of an elite mix-up pitch and throwing 87? I surely, my friends, do not. I think the lefties for Tampa Bay have an absolute heyday here. So I'm going to be watching our guy, Josh Lowe. I'm going to be looking at Brandon Lau. I'm going to be looking at Randy Rosarito and Wander Franco from the right side here. Maybe even some Taylor Walls, who's a switch hitter, so you can be paying attention to things like that. Even Yandy Diaz there, sitting there from the right side, now up to 12 homers and a 1.018 OPS. This is not the lineup you'll want to be effing with when you're getting back into the groove, when you're starting to pitch. Now, paying attention to some of the weather here, that's always an important facet of Wrigley. And, well, we're still waiting on a total here as it stands right now. 7.5. 7.5 is the number that ended up dropping, so I'm sure we can add that to the mix here. But 7.5 ended up being the prevailing total. Pretty low total here. And part of that is our guy Shane McClanahan here on the other side. Shane McClanahan is an absolute bona fide stud, has been for these Rays for quite some time. Again, the combination of him with his 209 expected bag average, 29.6% K rate, and then being a lefty going up against these Cubs, yeah, they do have a 121 WRC plus, but they also have a 25% K rate, which is the 5th highest rate in baseball. So something's got to give, and I'm going to think it gives on the Kyle Hendricks side of things. Tampa Bay's lineup plus the elite pitcher. Don't quite understand this number. I think this should be beyond minus 200. I am looking at jamming Tampa Bay, and yes, you can make this your parlay piece du jour. I don't go out of my way to recommend many money lines that are outside of minus 200. Feel like sometimes you can do some of the thinking yourself for that. If you really want to be parlaying massive pieces like that, the minus 250, minus 300 pieces, so be it. But this one still being inside at minus 200 is not in any way something I agree with. So at minus 180, best available number over at Bet365, even at minus 189 at Caesars Sportsbook, I am playing Tampa Bay across the board. Yeah, we were on Chicago yesterday. Time to go to Tampa Bay here. This time around, lock it up. I was a little too long-winded there. Again, we've got basketball to watch. We've got Anderson. We've got Giolito. Tyler Anderson on the mound here for the Los Angeles Angels going up against the White Sox here, and Lucas Giolito. Giolito, he's had better stuff. He's been less gelato. That's another bad joke. 4.28 expected ERA isn't exactly good, but nice to see his ERA under 4. Nice to see the K rate sitting around 24%, and that he's not getting completely bludgeoned when some of these outings go off the rails, which is kind of the textbook what happens to Lucas Giolito in some of these spots. 1.26 whip, also a nice thing. They've been limiting some of his pitch counts here of late, and the last outing against Detroit wasn't pretty. 89 pitches, just 3 2/3. Ended up having to pull him after 4 earned, but still, it's a decent enough spot here where I think you can maybe back the White Sox as a dog here. However, I will not be doing that more than likely because, well, the play that grades out the best for me is going to be going up against Mr. Anderson. Now, you get a number of these righties that are pretty interesting. You have Andrew Vaughn, who's primarily just a lefty killer in general. And then you get Luis Robert. And that's kind of the guy that I want to be highlighting here in this section. I think the White Sox, Luis Robert was one of those guys that I talked about being an MVP caliber player before the season started. Thought if the White Sox made a run in a weak AL Central, and yes, even with my Twins, I can accept this is a very weak division. I thought that you had a massive season incoming for one, Luis Robert. Now, just a 39% hard hit percentage. It was sitting around 35% pretty recently. I expect that to come up, up, up. And he's still, with that number, got a 497 expected slugging. You then get a lefty. You then get an opportunity in a ballpark where I'm going to be paying attention to the Chicago weather once again, but I think Luis Robert to home run, if I'm getting a number better than plus 360 against most lefties, I'm going to be taking it with this dude Robert. So there you go. That's going to be the play going up against Tyler Anderson. God, I'm happy with my baseball team. What an absolute win on Memorial Day. Altuve goes yard. They go down 5-4, but nobody panics. We end up putting a rally together. Royce Lewis is that freaking dude, the former #1 pick. Yeah, great to have him back in the fray. We're talking an absolute stud. Nearly a 350 ISO there, AAA. Nice to have that home run on the card. Could not believe the numbers for him and Alex Kirilloff in terms of total bases and in terms of home runs. However, Royce Lewis did have a smaller home run prop than that of Alex Kirilloff, which kind of shocked me a little bit going up against some lackluster righty. And I think that that's kind of the case that I'm making to going right back to the well with Alex Kirilloff. But I want to make sure that you watching these videos here today, yes, we have the premium Discord, which you can get for 2 months free signing up at BetMGM. You can also sign up for that individually in the video description box below. But I still thought Alex Kirilloff made a lot of sense to add as total bases too, considering we were getting like plus 120, plus 140 the last couple games in that department. And I think here, yet again, Alex Kirilloff over 1.5 total bases makes all the sense in all the land. And hey, I should probably break down the pitchers in this one. Joe Ryan, he's a stud. Going to be really hard to look at anything on the Houston side with his 243 xWOBA, 28.9% K rate. He's been the stud of all studs. Him, Pablo Lopez, Sonny Gray, our pitching staff, our starting pitching staff cannot believe what we've been able to ensemble there in Minnesota. But Brandon Bilak, we're talking a 374 xWOBA, 542 expected slugging here for Houston. Want to be targeting him with Gallo, with Max Kepler, who's back in action here, with Byron Buxton, even our righty, who hard hit percentage is way down here this season. Carlos Correa, who I think is going to start getting alive sooner rather than later. And yes, Royce Lewis we're going to pay attention to, but mainly Alex Kirilloff. Just wait. It's going to come together. 34.1% hard hit percentage will not continue. It just cannot. So the over of 1.5 total bases, we got there by way of 2 singles. Yes, 2 singles on Monday. I think we're going to run it back here on Tuesday. Just a lean, but better than plus 120. You're going to fire it up. Manscaped.com. Get 20% off using promo code Stokastic. And why? It's the best in men's grooming. We have the Performance Package 4.0, the Luxury Grooming Kit. We're talking the Crop Reviver, Crop Preserver, in addition to the Weed Whacker 2.0 and the Crown Jewel, the Lawnmower 4.0. My friends, they're the right tools for the job. And that Lawnmower 4.0, if you want to get close to your natty nads, you can do so, laddie lads, using the Lawnmower 4.0 on the groin and body grooming kit. Yes, do not nick yourself using some standard razor. Use the Lawnmower 4.0 and get close to your hair. Get yourself bare. Make yourself available to the ladies. Give yourself a nice day off from having all of the problems and all of the carnage down below. We save balls here at manscaped.com, and do so right now with the Lawnmower 4.0. And hey, for all you beard enthusiasts, we have the Beard Hedger Pro Kit, the Luxury Beard Grooming Kit, and you will get it all for 20% off plus free shipping when you use promo code Stokastic. It will all be applied at checkout. Yes, my friends, manscaped.com. Go to the description box below and take care of yourself down below as well. All right, y'all, back to the picks. We go from that lock of an ad read to this lock of a baseball game. The Atlanta Braves facing the Oakland Athletics yet again here. Want to do a live look in. Oh yeah, the game hasn't started yet. So, well, there's not a whole lot to mine out of that one. All I know is that we're going to be targeting this Oakland Athletics team a lot here until some of the numbers start catching up. And part of it is that somehow their starting pitching is even worse than you could possibly expect. Well, Bryce Elder going up against JP Sears in this one. And Bryce Elder hasn't exactly been good. But I'm kind of excited about that fact, and this is why. Atlanta, with a serviceable pitcher, put Spencer Strider out there, or, somebody more in tune with like being a normal pitcher, a Charlie Morton, who, can obviously get strikeouts, can obviously get lit up, hasn't been as good this season. It'd be really hard to find value in the -1.5. However, you put somebody like Bryce Elder up there, at least he's a right-handed pitcher going up against Oakland. And Oakland, a 26.7% K rate against righties is the highest mark in baseball. Not that Bryce Elder is going to go out and mow down everybody, but he does have a 21.5% K rate. That's not zero. That's not some of these sub 20% K rate guys that are just brutal to back. And the 2.01 ERA, I don't know what to make of it because he does have a 4.46 expected ERA. I obviously expect negative regression, but at least for this game, I hope that maintains because I am looking at just targeting Oakland relentlessly. Over a 6.50 xFIP in that bullpen. And then you add into that fray JP Sears, yet another starter that just doesn't have it. A 336 xWOBA, a 468 expected slugging. I do think the 23.4% K rate, better than people might expect, but being a left-handed pitcher going up against Atlanta with Austin Riley just sitting there waiting for you, Ronald Acuna as well, who obviously hits both sides of it pretty well. And then, I don't know, the second best WRC plus in all of baseball, the 150 WRC plus, they are unbelievable against lefties. And yes, this is in Oakland, and yes, that suppresses runs, but I do not give a flying, you know what, Atlanta -1.5, lock it, take it to the bank, good stuff. Oh God, it's an 11-point game here between Miami and Boston. Oh, my producer's going to kill me. It's fine. We're doing just fine. Everything's great here. Arizona, Colorado, they put up a bajillion runs here on Monday. Didn't end up on anything from that game, which is a little bit strange considering the quality of pitcher wasn't all that good. A lot better today with Zach Gallen on the mound going for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Kyle Freeland, getting Freeland outside of Colorado. Don't know. I went from like Irish to some terrible accent there. But Kyle Freeland, top 10 pick once upon a time. The lefty, however, is not all that good with a 4.13 expected ERA, 3.86 ERA, but you're getting him out of Coors, and that, my friends, is generally the recipe for success. However, I do not want to be picking on Zach Gallen with this Colorado money line in any capacity. So if I did anything, I would be backing these Arizona Diamondbacks going up against a lefty. That isn't traditionally the thing you should be doing. They have a 96 WRC plus, 22.7% K rate against that handedness. And then you look at Arizona against some of the righties. Well, they're just going to be better because, well, Corbin Carroll, things of that nature. Pretty wild stuff. 105 WRC plus in that category. But yeah, we're going to just be leaning because I don't really find a whole lot of value to be existing there. Zach Gallen, you know how in love I am with him, but unfortunately he was too good out of the gate. No value to be had here. We just lean -1.5, -115, a little bit above standard juice. Probably a pass for me on Tuesday. Had another game that's kind of a pass for me that I was expecting something. Hey, Eric, you always bet the Seattle game. Well, I'm not going to be doing it today. And if I did, I would be betting the Yankees side of this one. But we've got the Yankees and Mariners facing off. Nestor Cortes and Logan Gilbert. And if this was 2022, we would be looking at two of the best pitchers in baseball facing each other. However, Nestor Cortes, he's fallen on a little bit of hard times here of late. Does get a great ballpark upgrade going to Seattle, but a 5.30 ERA, 1.27 whip. I'm not sure what to make of it, but we always expected the K rate to come down, and it has, 23.2% there. He's still been good with the 302 xWOBA, still been decent in those regards with a 3.69 expected ERA. So for all the guys that we expect negative regression for on this card, he's one of them I expect positive regression for on this card. And that's kind of what I'm looking at this Yankee side. Plus money on the Yankees going up against anybody. That's going to catch your eye a little bit, that's for sure, especially when Nestor Cortes, who was their ace last year, Garrett Cole and Nestor Cortes 1-2 pretty much throughout the entire season. I think it's worth at least the thought process. However, do you want to go out of your way to target Logan Gilbert in Seattle? Because I really don't. 3.60 ERA, 0.92 whip, coming off of a great outing, 8 innings against Oakland. Again, Oakland, but it is what it is. Just going to be leaning the Yankees money line here. I do not really want to be going towards Seattle's lineup here as massive favorites against Nestor Cortes. Doesn't feel like the right thing to be doing. Spreadsheet echoes those sentiments. So just a pass. But if you had to do something here other than maybe an Aaron Judge homer, which I ended up betting on Monday night, I know he's like plus 225, but it still graded out well for me. That's dumb to say out loud. Yankees money line. That's the only thing that I would be doing here in this one on Tuesday. We have the Pittsburgh Pirates going into San Francisco for this one. And, well, Johan Oviedo, we've covered him quite a bit here. The St. Louis turned starter here with Pittsburgh going up against John Brebbia and then some other opener. Because, again, John Brebbia, from my understanding, will not be long for this baseball game. He's basically just pitched 1 or 2 innings in pretty much all of these opening type spots. 28 pitches in 2 innings against Milwaukee last time out. Generally, he's been piggybacked by one of 2 guys, and the one is a lot better than the other when you start grading them out. Sean Manaea, a guy you definitely don't want to be seeing here in any kind of capacity because, well, he's absolutely terrible in every sense of the word. 388 xWOBA, 526 expected slugging. Good things were expected with him in Oakland. Bad things are expected from him here in San Francisco. There's also a chance, and this is a weird one because they were talking about it the other day, Logan Webb. I don't think that's a realistic possibility here in this one, but it's at least worth throwing out there as somebody who could potentially piggyback. I don't see them doing something like that, and plus he pitched 3 days ago, so it's really unlikely, but they gave him 7 days break, and then he goes out and pitches 107 pitches, so I don't think it's going to be him in any way, shape, or form. I think Sean Manaea is the guy who makes most sense, even though we have seen Jacob Junis as well pitch 2.1 innings, 44 pitches as soon as the 25th, so perhaps it goes Brebbia, Jacob Junis. I think that's a little bit more likely as well, but we'll be waiting for word. Again, San Francisco, they give you a headache with that kind of stuff. And Oviedo, he gives me a little bit of a headache too, but at least a 378 expected slugging. 10% walk rate's got to improve and a 19.4% K rate. We expected that thing to come way down from being a bullpen arm to a starting arm. I think that's definitely followed those trends. And San Francisco against righties, a 107 WRC plus is 6th best in baseball, so no small feat to go in there and succeed. Still, I think Pittsburgh money line, just unknown, has to be my lean. So we have no idea what's going to happen here in this one. Going to be a weird one to keep track of, but be paying close attention to whoever opens here. As always, if you want to have a play on this game as we figure out more, especially because this line, is what it is, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. Happy to let you know where I land. Let's get exotic, shall we? I know a lot of leans stand out the game, and generally, I do kind of like some of these West Coast games a little bit more than I obviously do here on Tuesday, but I have a little bit of an exotic play on this one, mainly because I don't want to be laying minus 300 here on the Dodgers side. With Tony Gonsolin going up against Joey Irvin here of the Washington Nationals. Jake Irvin. I can't even say his name right because I don't even care. But Tony Gonsolin, 36.6% hard hit percentage, 223 expected batting average, was on pace to be a contender for the Cy Young last year with a 2.14 ERA before getting hurt a little bit, and Sandy Alcantara just kind of ran away with it at the end. But he's 29. We're starting to see the pitch count get ramped up, and, he gets to face Washington. You know what's really fun? Facing Washington. 85 WRC plus. However, he doesn't strike out a lot of bats in Washington. They really don't strike out against righties. One of the more surprising numbers I ran into on the day, 19.6% K rate against right-handed pitching. Only a 115 ISO, so them getting it in play still doesn't really matter. But still, you're not really getting the freebies here. And I think just balls getting in play, you can run into BABIP in a short sample, like one baseball game. So Tony Gonsolin, not going to be going out of my way to be laying it on the money line. However, I am going to be combining the run line Dodgers play, minus 1.5 in the event that they just go nuts here. Minus 145 over at Caesars, the current best available line. And I'm going to be pairing that with wherever we land, 1.5 total bases for Freddie Freeman. I don't think people are giving Freddie Freeman as much due as what he deserves so far this season. The man has a 611 expected slugging, 334 expected batting average, and a 429 xWOBA. Those are ridiculous kind of numbers. MVP type numbers we're running into from a former MVP here with the Braves in Freddie Freeman. And I think he's just kind of getting back into that form once again. Nice to see him hit for a little bit of power going back to his old stomping grounds there in Atlanta last week. So, hey, 335 batting average with a 983 OPS and now 9 homers on the year. Facing any pitcher, period, on planet Earth, especially this Jake Irvin character with a 387. What is that? 387 ex-WOBA? Yeah, it's horrendous. Horrendous stuff. 19% K rate, 16% walk rate. Yeah. Freddie Freeman's going to rip a double into the corner, maybe a bomb out there to right center in Dodger Stadium. So enjoy that. Bad righty on the mound. Incredible lefty in the batter's. Why can I not say just batter's box? It is what it is. I'm tired. That's 15 games. Let's get ourselves out of here and go watch some basketball. Jake Irvin gets destroyed. Dodgers -1.5. Plus, we've got our guy, Freddie Freeman. Just a lean, but know that if that number is remotely close to -105, we are playing. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know how badly Baltimore burned you. Trust me, I lost more money. It was atrocious. I did not enjoy that at all, especially coming off of an incredible 9-2 Sunday. Was looking to keep the momentum going. Obviously ran into that hiccup. Hopefully the late night hammer can come through for us. And hey, at least Royce Lewis exists. Thank you so much for that. Check out the premium Discord below, but do it through BetMGM. No better way than getting just a free bet to fire up. You're going to get all that money back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win, up to $1,000. Massive amount of money, I know. For some people, it depends. You could bet 50, you could bet 100. It doesn't matter what it is. If your first bet at BetMGM when you sign up loses, you're going to get that money back in bonus bets and 2 free months of premium Discord. Use promo code OSInsider when you do it. Alrighty, y'all, I got a second act of basketball to go watch. Producer Jacob, thank you. Good luck to your Boston team. They frickin' need it. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Tuesday.